Let's talk about seasons. The same way that in the natural world there is winter, summer, spring, and all of that, is the same way that we experience different seasons in our lives. The Bible actually says there is a season and there is a time for everything. But a lot of us fail to pay attention to that. We go through seasons, different seasons, but behaving the same way. And then we wonder why we are frustrated. We wonder why something that worked last year does not seem to be working this year. We wonder why certain people are starting to leave us and to dislike us. We wonder why things that required a very minimal effort in the past now seem to require extra effort. But if we paid attention to the seasons of life, we would be able to better prepare and better align ourselves with them. Because you see, with seasons, they are always going to come. It is guaranteed, it is definite. We know that this year we're going to have rain. This year we are going to have summer. The sun is going to be scorching at some point. And what we do is we do not pray that the sun does not burn. We do not pray that the heat does not come. We simply prepare ourselves for it. We prepare for the rain by buying umbrellas. We prepare for the rain by making sure we have seeds that are planted in the ground so that when the rain comes, we benefit from it. So instead of trying to fight seasons, we align ourselves with them so that we maximize on them. Seasons are very important and they are apparent to every person's life. Look at the things that are happening in your life right now. What season could it be? You see, the beauty of knowing that life has got seasons, it helps you with two things. It helps you that during the dark and difficult times, it gives you strength to soldier on. It gives you the stamina to stand, fully knowing and understanding that this too shall pass because it is only a season. It also keeps you grounded when things are going very well for you. When you are on the rise and it seems like everything you are touching is working without much effort, without much struggle. When you are making profits, when it's easy for you to make money, when you are always happy and laughing, when you are surrounded by light, love, and laughter. It keeps you grounded because you understand that this is also a season and things might change. So when you understand seasons, it keeps you grounded, it keeps you strong, and it helps you to prepare. You see, the essence of preparation when we're dealing with seasons is that it helps you to remain constant in life. Let's look at the people who designed, let's say, the air conditioning system in our cars and in our homes. The idea there is to create an environment that remains consistent and constant despite what may be happening outwardly. So they devised a mechanism, they designed a system that helps you to feel warm when the outside is cold. People who knit jerseys, they are simply trying to make sure that your body does not suffer the adverse conditions and the drop of temperatures. So that is the same thing with life. I like to give an illustration of what happened in the Bible with a man called Joseph. Joseph had interpreted the king's dream. And the interpretation of the dream was that there were to be 7 years of abundant harvest, and thereafter there were going to be 7 years of severe famine. But because Joseph had insight into the coming years, Joseph had insight into the seasons that were going to come, Joseph helped the nation of Egypt prepare for these seasons. So that even when times of drought came, the Egyptians did not feel it. But across the rest of the regions, there were so many people who had to make their way to Egypt because they heard that these people have got food. How did they have food and yet they were in drought? It's because they had a man who had an understanding of the change of seasons that was upon them, and they were able to prepare for the change of those seasons. Therefore, they did not suffer like the rest of the world. The other thing that seasons also do to our lives is that seasons bring changes even in the relationships that we have. Just like sometimes how in the fall leaves fall off the trees, and then new leaves will then sprout again in a later season. Sometimes there are friendships that we are no longer able to keep up because of the trajectory that our lives have taken. I can give you an example of people who were best friends from childhood. They went to school together, they played together, played video games together, did homework together, even went to college together. And then after college, one got married before the other. All of a sudden, one had more responsibilities, more things to pay attention to. One got promoted and got high up the corporate ladder. Now, when they used to have 5 hours of socialization in a day, they've only got 15 minutes to spare and respond to messages. If the other friend does not realize the season that the friendship is in, they will think they've been neglected. They'll think they've been abandoned. They'll think that this one has become too prideful. But if they were cognizant of the fact that seasons change in people's lives and therefore we need to adjust accordingly, they would not take that with any offense. So some of the struggle we are facing, some of the pain we are feeling, some of the relationships we are trying to hold, some of the things and associations we are trying to force, they are out of season. And whenever you try to do things out of season, you have to apply extra effort. Imagine somebody who's trying to plant a crop that requires a lot of rain during a time when there is no rain. They then have to devise and make up a system of irrigation. They have to rely on their own effort to carry, to direct the water channels to their crops. Whereas in a rainy season, they would only rely on the natural cycle of life, on the rain that comes from the heavens, and things would flow much more easily. So when you do things out of season, prepare to work harder than you should. So whenever it's your season to do something, maximize on it. Whenever it's your time to complete and to fulfill an assignment, do not postpone it. Do not say, I will do it when I feel like I should. Sometimes we feel tired, but when we see the rains approaching, we know that this is the time to be planting. Even Jesus says we must work while it is day, because when night comes, nobody can work. So it is my prayer that you pray for enlightenment, discernment, the ability to sense and to decipher the seasons in your life, that you may position and prepare yourself accordingly, and that you may benefit and maximize those seasons. Komborero Nigel.